Hello friends, this is Brian Amick and welcome to the next episode of Project 39. This one's going to be a little bit different because we actually have two guests joining us today. Elizabeth Manning Riley is the owner of Crimson Oak Restaurant and Pub in North Vernon, Indiana. And also joining us is the restaurant's chef, Nash Frederick. They're both natives of Jennings County and together they're doing some pretty good things. As always, if you like this episode, please consider sharing it with a friend. Research shows that the number one way people find new podcasts is by recommendations from family and friends. So if you like what you hear, spread the word and help us grow the show. And don't forget, I'm always glad to hear your thoughts on this or any of the episodes. Links to Project 39's website and social media accounts are in the show notes. Let's get with it. Okay, Elizabeth Manning Riley and Nash Frederick, how you guys doing today?
Very well, sir. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
We're doing great. Thanks for having us.
So Elizabeth, we're sitting here at your restaurant in North Vernon. Would you tell us a little bit about the place?
Sure. So this is Crimson Oak Restaurant and Pub in beautiful downtown North Vernon. My husband and I own this restaurant, and we opened back in November of 2020.
Okay. And besides this, you own another restaurant?
So I've owned Streamcliff Farm Restaurant in Comiskey for 26 years. And that business has a lot of different components. So the winery and the kind of overall farm is still owned by my parents, and they live there. And then I own the restaurant, and my brother and sister-in-law own the nursery and the greenhouse business.
Okay, so family business then.
Yep.
And that's located in
Comiskey.
In Comiskey.
Yes, uh-huh.
Okay. And Nash, how about yourself? Were you a local guy? How'd you?
Yes, I am recently back within the past few years from Louisville, but yes, I was born and raised here in the North Vernon area. I grew up in a little house just north of North Vernon.
Okay, all right. And you're the chef here at Crimson Oak, correct?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
All right. So where did you, how does one become a chef?
Well, first and foremost, you have to have the passion for it.
Yeah.
Because it's not a career for everyone, but it's just something that I've always wanted to do. So I took the steps. After high school, I kind of meandered around for a little bit, and then just decided to go with it and went to Sullivan University in Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay. And after that, you began your career in the culinary industry?
Yeah. Once you get down there, you start meeting like-minded people, people that have connections into different restaurants and things, and that's basically how I got my start.
Okay.
Yeah, just kind of working from the ground up and learning the craft.
Okay. Now, anybody that's been following you guys on social media or anything know that recently you were on Channel 3, Wave 3. So The big question is Dawn G as nice in person as she comes across on TV?
I would say so.
Yes, she absolutely is very, very nice.
I'd be surprised if she wasn't.
Yeah.
It really
very
does seem
calming
genuine.
presence, for
Yeah,
sure.
we were very nervous. Live TV.
Yeah.
It was a
I
lot.
can't
Yeah.
imagine.
And,
That's got to be nerve-wracking.
But yeah, anytime we would stumble, she would just sort of pick you right up. And
Well, and
carry
the
on.
entire crew, television crew, the director, the producer, they were all super supportive. And after we were done, they were telling us, "Oh, you guys did a great job."
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
so.
good. Well, I'm sure they deal with it every day, and it'd probably be easy for them to get just kind of jaded, where they don't think about why people would be nervous. But it sounds like they're conscious of it and they're trying to help you out. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good segment you guys did, and
Appreciate that.
we'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. I got some questions for you, Nash, about that pork chop. So
Okay.
So Elizabeth, you opened this restaurant, I think, in November of last year, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
So what were you thinking trying to open a restaurant in the middle of a pandemic?
Well, sometimes we kind of did think that maybe that wasn't the best idea. But,
I bet, yeah.
Sometimes when you have a vision, and I just had this gut feeling that this had to be done and I wanted to do it. And, Nash was able to come on board, and I just didn't want to do anything to take a chance on losing out on having Nash part of the crew.
Okay.
And the building was available. Everything just kind of fell in place. And I say over and over again that it was really a God thing. It would have been too hard for us to put this together on our own. But when we would come up upon a roadblock, it would be there would be an answer. And so somehow we got through it. And it was rough. I mean, there were times where when we were at 25%, and it was nerve-wracking too, because of course back then we all didn't know what to expect, and that was before we had, people were getting the vaccines, and so a lot of people didn't come in at all, even if they could have, just because of their fears. So we did carry out and did the best we could to kind of get through that time, and so finally I feel like we've weathered the storm, and we're headed out on the other end now.
Yeah, that's good. I did. In prepping for this, I did a little bit of research. If you type into Google, opening a restaurant during a pandemic research, but read a couple articles, and they were talking to several people who started restaurants in the last year during this, and a lot of them, it was kind of interesting. They're saying they think it really helped them because they never had to adapt. They were starting out, so they never had a normal.
Right.
So they from day one, they were responding every day to different changes and things. So
and I think
they said in a way that they thought that made it easier to get through it, and they went straight into things like carry out, tailoring dishes that were suitable for carry out. Mm-hmm. Changing their menu, the menu they thought they were going to have, changing it to foods that were more convenient to carry out. Getting the delivery service partnerships with DoorDash and things like that and everything. So,
well, and then when things did kind of lighten up a little bit and people were getting their vaccines and they felt safe to come out and we were allowed to go to 100% capacity, I think there were so many people who had already heard about us and were just kind of waiting for the opportunity to feel like it was the time to come. And so lots of people would come in and be like, oh, we've been following you on social media and we're so glad we finally get to come. And so I think that kind of gave a little bit of an opportunity for people to, get the anticipation of coming for the first time. So, yeah, and like I said, I feel like we weathered the storm and we're better because of it. And the other side of it, too, is it gave us a chance to sort of kind of iron out all of the wrinkles. Anytime you open up a new business, there's always things that you don't anticipate, problems, how just the little things. There's so many components with owning a restaurant that it's easy to forget something. I tell you what, on our very first day when we opened up, so my family owns a winery, of course, and we opened up the first 2 nights for just friends and family with invites. And that first night, I didn't have any wine glasses. Like, how on earth? I own a winery, or my family owns a winery, and I don't even have wine glasses. So
you have to run out and get some real quick.
Yeah, no, we just kind of used the glasses that we had
bar
for
glasses
that one night. Yeah, just use the bar glasses. Like, okay, sorry about that, guys. We'll get that fixed tomorrow.
That's why you do a soft opening, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So what's a typical day? So right now it's, I don't know, like 2:30 in the afternoon. You're open. You're open for lunch. You're going to be open for dinner tonight. I mean, what's a typical day look like for the restaurant business? Nash, are you like doing prep all day?
Yes, for us, we're basically doing prep all day. Of course, everything on our menu is from scratch, so there's a lot of process that goes into every item on the menu. But we have our crew in place as such where we can operate our, beginning in the day, we start our lunch shift, and we have a very good lunch following. They're coming in constant till right about now. Usually, they'll trickle in during the later part of the week, when people start getting out early and things like that. But all the while we're serving tables, we're also prepping food and getting everything ready for our day-to-day.
Okay. And what about you, Elizabeth? You spread thin, having 2 restaurants? Are you doing the same thing in 2 locations every day?
I'm kind of a little bit all over the place, like a crazy woman most of the time. I actually, to be honest with you, there was not too long ago, I thought that I might be losing my marbles. And I thought, you know what? I need to make myself a schedule. That's what I think, because if I'm not at Crimson, then I feel like I should be, or vice versa, So I made myself a little schedule that, on this day, I do go to both places, and on this day, I just go to one or the other, and so forth. So Thursdays have been my just stay at Streamcliff all day and not come to Crimson. And kind of, I try to, like Wednesdays, I try to just come to Crimson. So I'm trying to kind of limit how much I'm running back and forth. Fortunately, though, we have a fantastic staff and great
Absolutely.
managers.
Okay.
So I feel at ease knowing that they're taking care of things. It's just I always I like to be involved and I like to know what's going on and
Well, it's your business, right?
yeah.
So besides Nash here, who are some of your key people? I know we've been coming here since the
I think you
week
did you
you-
come?
yeah.
Were you here for the opening? I know.
shortly after. I don't
Yeah.
think we made the opening. We were
Okay.
there as soon as we could get in. And I've seen some of those same faces. We were here last weekend. My wife and I were here for dinner, and we're seeing some of those same faces that we saw then. So who are some of the key people you have here?
Well, our front of the house manager is Emily Pearson, and Emily is a great find. She's a young woman who has a lot of restaurant experience, but this is her first management job, and she has just jumped in with both feet, and she is so good with the customers. The customers love her, but she's really also good with the staff. I say all the time that she's the only person I know that can tell you that you didn't do a very good job cleaning the toilet, and next thing you know, the person's cleaning the toilet and waiting for Emily to come give the approval that they did a good job.
I'm feeling good about it.
Yeah, because she just encourages people, and she's a great asset. So our bar manager is Amy Alt, but we're getting ready to lose her. She's going to be moving to New Albany. So Katrina Ames is going to be taking over as our bar manager
Okay.
soon. So we're just sort of this next week or so transitioning over. Kat has been here as a bartender for quite a while, so we know she'll do. And she has a lot of managing experience, so I'm sure that she's going to just step right in and be able to take over the bar in good fashion.
Okay. One thing that I keep hearing a lot about here lately and seeing online a lot is places having to reduce hours, cut their hours of operation, or limit menus or something, and it's because of the lack of help. Have you struggled with that, or
Yeah,
it's a real problem?
It is. It's absolutely a real problem.
What's driving that? Why?
Well, I mean, I don't want to get too political on this podcast, but in my own humble opinion, it's because of all the extra unemployment that people are getting.
Yeah.
So I saw a report somewhere that people are getting up near $17 an hour's worth of unemployment. And, restaurant industry, the margins are very, very thin. And so it's hard to find people. And so the ones that we have are fantastic. And we absolutely adore them and try to do all that we can to keep them, on staff and keep them happy and things. And one of the things that we did to try to help keep morale high is we were having a manager meeting about 6 weeks ago or so.
Yeah.
And I kind of ended it like, okay, well, is there anything we need to talk about? And Nash came and said, honestly, Sunday brunch is really killing the kitchen because they're here till Saturday night till 10 o'clock or so, and then back in at 6:30 in the morning.
Wow.
And then everybody's, we had a lot of our staff was getting 20 hours of overtime a week, so they're working on regular 55 to 60 hours a week. And it was really hard on morale. And I hated to get to do away with brunch because I know the community really embraced it. But that was one area that we kind of made a compromise and said, it's important that we're good to our people. And so we're doing brunch only with the first Sunday of the month. And we've shortened the hours to from 10 a.m. to 2. And just doing it the first Sunday of the month.
Okay. Well, it's great that you figured that out and responded to it, but even more so, it's great that you got an employee like Nash who's willing to step up and tell you that. Versus, a lot of times people just sit and suffer in silence, and then people start leaving, and you're
right.
like, "Why is that?"
Well,
guy
and
quitting?"
Nash that kitchen is his kitchen, and he hires, he fires. That's his kitchen. Troy and I have taken a very hands-off approach to that because I want to empower our managers. I'm not somebody that micromanages. I'm not over everybody's shoulder all the time. For one thing, I don't have time to do that, and for the other,
right.
that's not who I am. I mean, I hire these people knowing that they know what they're doing, and so yeah, when Nash came and had a suggestion, and we're going to do whatever we can to try to to keep everybody happy.
Yeah, well, that's good. So now that you've got a lot of experience in the restaurant business, and you've just opened this place about a little less than a year. So what's the best part of being a restaurant owner?
I actually enjoy it. I like when we're open and we're busy and there's just sort of this buzz of electricity, and it's I don't know, it's exciting. The people from North Vernon are so complimentary. I mean, everybody. I mean, we get people from from Seymour and Columbus and Madison and areas here and there, and so they're all very complimentary. But it's the North Vernon people who are just almost shocked that there is a restaurant like this in North Vernon.
Yeah.
Because we call ourselves a gastropub, chef-inspired menu with specialty cocktails. And so our menu it's all Nash. I mean, he absolutely has written everything about that menu. And we joke about his verbiage. So some people will come in and they'll read the menu and they'll be like, "What?" Like, well, if you knew Nash, you would know that's his verbiage. But yeah, I like that, and I like, like I was saying before about our employees, we have great staff members. I mean, our team up here they're fantastic, and they're fun to be with. And so, yeah, that's my favorite part, is just a busy night and just the buzz.
That's good. So from the chef side of that, what's the best part about the job?
Well, I love food.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know everything about it. I love working with people. I love serving people. I love to put, I love to see the reaction from tasting something that we've made back there. That's a huge thing, but that's only really half of it. I'm also addicted to the adrenaline of it.
Oh yeah.
I love like a crazy busy night, like on a Friday or Saturday night when things are just, tickets keep on ringing back constantly. There's flames and knives flying everywhere and grease splatters and people yelling. I kind of live for that as well. I guess I'm an adrenaline junkie in that respect, but I don't know. It's just something that I've always, since I've gotten into it, it's just always something that I've been super passionate about, and I've always been in love with it, and I really honestly couldn't see myself doing anything else.
That's great. So you don't sit around Friday dreading the rush that's coming Friday night?
No, I mean, more people means more revenue, and
right. Yeah, that's ultimately what it's all about.
That's the heartbeat, and you want that audience, you want those people to come in, and you want them to come in droves and see what's going on, because you want that word to spread. And it's because we work really, really hard at this, and we put a lot of, as I say again, passion into it, and it's great to see that response. Our social media, Liz is absolutely fantastic at our social media and just pushing our name out there, and just seeing, just those posts alone, those reactionary posts of what we've done, and what we're serving, and, the service that we're providing, and it's great all the way around, know.
I do sometimes hate that the kitchen doesn't get to hear all the compliments. Yeah. It's like people come up and compliment me, or they'll say something to Troy, and of course all the servers and the bartenders and things. And so, I try to relay that back to the kitchen, but it's just not the same as having a customer, just go on and on about how wonderful their meal was. And so a lot of times what I'll do when we'll have good reviews or recommendations, and I'll print them out. And so right now on one of the refrigerators, there's a bunch of papers that just
cool.
People where they've been happy.
That's cool. Well, people like to know that it's recognized. The work
I mean,
doing,
I want the kitchen staff to know that they're doing a great job.
That's a good point, because nobody ever sees them.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But without them, it doesn't work. Yeah.
No.
So both of you, in that response, you can tell that this is something that you're passionate about. But so suppose this hadn't worked out. What would you be doing if you weren't doing this? What if you weren't a restaurant owner, Elizabeth?
Well, Nash was just kind of commented about my marketing on social media. That I really enjoy doing that. So let me back up for a second. My degree I graduated from Hanover College. My degree is in art education. So straight out of college, I taught middle school and high school art at Jacksonville over in Osgood. And I did that for 3 years. And then at Streamcliff, my mom was wanting to kind of open a little tea house, kind of just something small. Mm-hmm. So it was supposed to be a little side job that I would do in the summer, and then I would continue to teach. But within, I'm telling you what, that first summer or so, we could tell that it was really going to take off. And back then we were only open on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. And so I continued to teach for 3 years and then do the restaurant, the tea room. We called it tea room back then. And I just decided, you know what, I think I'm just going to do this full time. And so I had no restaurant experience whatsoever. And luckily we started small enough, and it was seasonal, and it was just lunch. And so it's a good way for me to learn how to do things. And I mean, back then I'd go to Sam's Club and buy bags of raw chicken and come and boil that chicken and then chop it all up and make chicken salad. And I mean, the stuff that I used to do, but that was back when, I was in my early 20s and I had a lot of energy and not too smart. And, and since then I've learned.
It's a better way.
26 years later, yeah, I've got a little bit better handle on things. But I guess if I wasn't in the restaurant business, I'd still be teaching art or doing something in the marketing realm. Yeah. I love marketing. I love the whole idea of kind of, I don't know, enticing people with photographs,
manipulating
and
people.
Yeah,
manipulating people into spending their money on things
exactly.
they didn't know they wanted. Yeah. What about you, Nash?
Goodness, I really don't know. I've always been interested in media, things of that nature. I've always been interested in like DJ work. My dad actually has done radio work in the past, and I was always super interested in him doing that. But honestly, I think about it from time to time, and I just don't know. I really don't. I feel like I'd be doing something with food if I wasn't doing this anyway.
Okay, that's fair. Well, talking about food, so this pork chop, that you guys did on your little spot on Channel 3. So, and actually, when we were here last weekend, my wife and I, she had that, and I had to sample it, and it was fantastic. So, awesome. So you mentioned that you brine that. So what? First of all, what does brining mean, and how do you do it? Why do you do it?
Well, what we're doing with a brine is basically we're making, at its essence, it's a saltwater solution.
Okay.
And that's the basis of a brine. And what that's doing is it's imparting moisture and flavor into whatever meat. And I mean, a brine is utilized for chicken, turkey, steaks, pork chops in our case.
I've never heard of brining a steak. I've heard
do what?
I've heard chicken and pork, of course, but never heard of brining steaks.
Yeah. You can basically brine anything.
You can brine anything.
Yeah,
right?
Basically.
Just like frying it, you can fry anything.
Yeah. But with our brine, we start with our cherry soda. That's where we're starting our soda pop chop name. Right. Is I start with my favorite black cherry soda, and from there we add a slew of different spices. Mm-hmm. We do allspice, like whole allspice, black pepper, cinnamon, anise, cloves. It also in the brine as well, where we're getting a lot of our salt from, is the light soy sauce that I use. And molasses is also giving it a deep, rich color. But when we're done, I mean, I let those pork chops sit in the brine for a week, and then when I pull them out, they're mahogany in color. I mean, they're really deep brown. And actually, when we were on Wave 3, Don G was like, "Why are those pork chops so brown?" She
you burn them.
Yeah, we've already burnt them before we cooked them, but no. So when you look at those chops, you can just see that they're so flavorful already. and that meat is completely permeated. By the time we finish that chop, it's completely permeated on all those flavors, and it has, my favorite types of flavors. I grew up, essentially on a farm, with my grandparents. They always had a garden, and they had, livestock, things like that, and we always grew up homespun, eating all these different, homemade sausages, all kinds of, prepared vegetables from their summer kitchen, and just that's how, we ate. And I also have love bright Asian flavors, and I even love a lot of Latin flavors as well. And you see that a lot in the menu. And excuse me. But with that pork chop, it kind of encases all that. You get a little bit of the Southern. You get a little bit of an Asian flair to it. You also, there is some kind of Latin influences in it as well.
Okay.
So you got, when you taste it, it does have a lot of different contrasts, a lot of different flavors going on. And I would say it's probably my favorite.
It was good
on the menu.
It was good. So something that's dumb to me. How do you cook something like that and cook it through without drying it out? Because that's a big pork chop.
Well, the brine helps us from drying it out. It's kind of I won't give you a science lesson today, but it's that brine's allowing that moisture to kind of lock within the intramuscular structure there. And what we're doing is we're quick searing it on our char grill. And what after that is when we hit it with a cherry guajillo glaze, which I'm taking the same cherry soda and I'm reducing that down with guajillo peppers and other spices until I get a syrupy consistency. And I'm just glazing that after I've seared it on each side, and then we're sticking it in the oven until done. And that's, giving you an even cooking surface. And then it's also caramelizing that glaze on top of the chop, so it comes one with the meat itself.
Yeah, and whatever you're doing, it's working.
Well, thank you.
It's really
I appreciate
good.
that.
So, is that been a big seller?
Yeah, it's huge. We go through a lot. The counts I couldn't tell you, but I know we go through a ton.
Okay, so that's fairly new on the menu.
Yeah.
Is there anything else, any other changes coming up or anything you can talk about?
Nothing that I want to reveal yet, but yes, there are changes coming up. We're going to be, doing, constant changes with the season. We plan to keep, our mainstays. We do have some mainstay items that just sell.
You got to keep the shrimp and grits on there.
Right. Yeah, that's one that will stay. But we have a lot of fan favorites that you just don't want to take away. But such as the pork chop that we're doing now, that's a very seasonal item. And there are other seasonal items, especially, on our salads and things like that we're going to be in the constant of changing. And then, soups are going to kind of go with the season as well. But we're not going to take away those things that just people are, come in on a Tuesday for lunch.
I know. Every time I come in, I look at the menu. I was like, what am I going to? And it's always shrimp and grits. I just, I just can't get away from that.
Yeah. And that's a huge favorite. Yeah. We sell a ton. Right now, we're doing a vegetarian inspired pasta, which is a Spring Garden Primavera. And that also will change as well. We're going to be, it'll probably fluctuate into some other type of pasta or something of that nature. But Liz is very adamant about there being a lot of vegetarian options, or enough for, people to come in and feel like they have
everybody
a choice as well.
Can find something they like.
And it is important. I am not a vegetarian at all. I am a meat lover through and through, right. But I understand the importance of it.
Yeah. And so we have to have the vegetarian items I'm not a vegetarian, but I don't eat a whole lot of meat.
Yeah.
and I have a daughter that's vegan, and so. Yeah, so sometimes he rolls his eyes at me when I'm like, hey, we need that stuff. You're talking about how great the pork chop is, and I have had it, and it is great. But that's a lot for somebody that's not a meat eater.
It's huge.
That's huge. But what you didn't talk about is the corn salad.
Oh yeah.
So he serves it with this corn salad that I could just like eat a bucket full of today. So real quick, can Nash tell you about how he makes the salad?
Let's hear that.
So we just start with a good local sweet corn, and it comes whole, so we shuck it out, and then we'll soak it in some salt water for a while, and then pull it out, and then we'll fire grill it, and then we have various ingredients that go into it: poblanos, which we fire roast, tricolor bell peppers, which we'll fire roast, jalapenos, again, which will fire roast. And then what I do to bring it all together after we've taken the corn off the cob and brought all the vegetables together, we'll bring it all in with a sriracha lemon vinaigrette.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you get a little bit, and it's got, sweetness to it as well. So you got a little sweet, a little spicy, a little sour here and there, but it's a very well-rounded dish, I would say, or salad side. We also serve it as a side. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't sample any of that. My wife wouldn't let me have any
Liz
of that.
eats her weight in it every week.
Yeah, she did. It's like I love corn on the cob, but then it gets in your teeth and it's messy. Right. And see, they already have it cut off the cob for you, and you can just dip it up and go to town.
Well, one of my favorite things to snack on always is elotes or street corn, and I absolutely adore it. And that's basically what we're doing is an elotes, without the cob.
Oh. It sounds good. So Elizabeth, so you got this restaurant, you've got the one at Streamcliff. So looking down the road 5 years, are we going to have a third one we'll be talking about? Or?
Oh my gosh, it's so timely that you would say that. Probably not, but the problem that I have is that my wheels never stop turning. I am constantly thinking of, this would be a great idea, and well, I could do this, and North Vernon needs such and such, and there's this place in Madison that's available. Well, maybe we should, and the problem is I really just need probably to win the lottery or something so that I would have enough money to do all the ideas that I have. So I don't know. I'm 51. My husband's 53. And he's a truck driver, and he would like to not be out on the road. So probably what we're going to eventually do is just settle into this, and I'll have to, tamper down my ideas for other things. And but no, I mean, that's just who I am. I think it's my art background, that whole creative side of me.
Right. But 5 years ago, did you think you would be running a second restaurant? So,
no,
not
knows? At all. Well, no, but part of the problem with Streamcliff is that because it's seasonal, so we'll put a great staff together, and they'll work from April until October, and then they're out of work.
Yeah.
And so then here we are again, trying to put another, every winter we're scrambling to find another team, and it's only open for lunch, and we would try to do some dinner things here and there, but the kitchen's not set up to, it's nothing like the kitchen up here. It's a much smaller scale, and what ended up happening is we were out in Colorado for my 50th birthday, and so Troy and I, we always love to go to restaurants and nitpick them to pieces. Like, well, if this were mine, I would do this and I would do that. And like, isn't this great? Or this, And we were in Buena Vista, Colorado, and we went to this restaurant called, I think it was called Rock Kitchen or something. Not Hard Rock, but it was like Rock Kitchen. And it was just fabulous. I just loved everything about it. I loved their menu. I loved their decor. It just had such a hip feel to it, and we went there, twice during vacation. Usually, I go
switch
like,
it up.
No, I want to go back. That place is so good. So that kind of got the wheels really turning. And what could we do that would be a dinner, lunch and dinner, and then, like I kind of said earlier, I found out that this building was available, and I found out that Nash was available, and I jumped on that. And so I sort of I didn't really have a really good plan. I just sort of said, here we go. This is going to be a good idea, and I'll figure it out as I go. And so my husband, I just sort of drag him along, and he's the maintenance man.
I was going to say, I don't know if you remember, but I ran into you somewhere downtown Madison last year, and you were telling me that you were thinking about this, and Troy wasn't bought in yet.
No.
Did it take some arm twisting? Looks like you finally won out, but
yeah. Well, once he knew he could have a bar,
there you go.
He kind of jumped on board. Oh, we can have a 3-way liquor license. Oh, okay.
That sold him on it, huh?
So he does. He really likes the bar, and he'll come in, especially on a Friday and Saturday night, and get behind the bar and do dishes and just help out. He makes a really good old fashioned, but if some lady kind of a martini gets ordered, a bikini martini or lemon drop or something, he's like, no, I don't want to do that. I can pour beer and make old fashions.
Yeah, that's good. So do you ever have to tell him, see, I told you so?
No. I mean, he's pretty good sport with stuff. It didn't take too much arm twisting to get him into it.
That's good. So you talked about your social media and stuff. So where can people find you? I'm assuming you've got, I know you got a website.
Yeah, we have a website, and then Facebook and Instagram
are
the big ones those are really the only two that we're using right now.
Okay, all right. And I'll look up and we'll get links for all that, and we'll put it on the show notes so everybody can get a hold of you. So, kind of along the same lines of getting a hold of you, do people need reservations to come here?
Well, we do strongly suggest reservations on Friday and Saturday nights.
Okay.
A typical night is we can handle, maybe 10 tables worth of walk-ins throughout the night.
Okay.
Maybe something where you'll have to come sit at the bar rail and wait for a table. The room that we're in right now is the conference room, and so we use this for people can rent this out for private parties. Mm-hmm. But we also use it as overflow. So if you don't have reservations, we can usually put you in the
Squeeze
conference room.
Here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tuesday nights have become a night that we get a lot of reservations because it's we do tacos and trivia, and so trivia starts at 6:30, and trivia is held in the bar, and usually every single Tuesday night all the bar tables have been reserved.
Okay.
Because people love trivia, and it's a lot of fun. This past Tuesday, it was 80s music, and so it was a lot of fun. Yeah. So we recommend having reservations.
And so do you use Open Door or one of those services,
Or
you just call
if you go to our website, the one that we use is called Seat On.
Okay.
And it's on our website, and then or just calling. Calling is really the best way.
Okay. And what's the number here? You don't know, do you?
No, I do not.
It's 352. Well, it's 812-352-6969.
There, Nash saved you again. We'll also put that in the show notes too. So.
Okay.
Right.
That's what Don G said.
That's right. You messed it up on there too, didn't you?
Yeah.
All right. So pretty much wrapping up. I got one more question for Nash.
Okay.
Can you teach me how to do that high-speed chop that all the chefs do without losing a finger?
Well, I can show you, but it's just a matter of constant practice and muscle memory.
Yeah. I don't know. I cut myself today just trying to cut open a
what
avocado.
I tell all of our guys back in the kitchen, what I tell them, I always use what I call the tiger paw. Mm-hmm. And the tiger paw is where every finger, is tucked back underneath of itself. And when you're using that knife, you have no risk of cutting a fingertip off. And it's gotten good results. Knock on wood, we haven't had any serious injuries as of yet. But no, safety is a big name of the game.
Yeah.
And
is that something they actually teach at culinary school?
What is
the high speed chop? Or
no,
is that just
that's
something
all
everybody
flash.
does? Yeah.
I mean, really.
Cool.
I mean, yes, when you're getting into time crunches and things like that, like oh no, it's a half hour until dinner and I need to do this. I need to julienne 5 pounds of onions. Well, sure, we can do that real quick. But honestly, that flashiness, that's just tearing your knife up. You know, you spend a lot of time to keep your knives nice and sharp because a sharp knife is a safe knife. And that's all just flashy. Hey, look at me, what I can do. You know, you look on TikTok or YouTube or, you know, wherever, and you see these guys like with their, you know, just chop, chop, chop with their eyes closed, you know, and I can do that, but there's really no practical.
There's no reason to other than showing off. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, it does look good.
Yeah, it does look cool. It does look cool.
All right. So, Elizabeth, before we wrap up, was there anything you were hoping we would talk about or get into? Anything you want to reiterate, touch on? It's your chance to cover anything you want here.
Well, I think I mentioned Taco Tuesday and trivia night being a big night on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday we have live music. So every Wednesday night, 6:30 to 8:30, and that's something that I'd like to see the community maybe embrace a little bit more. I feel like Madison has done a great job with their M3, the Madison Music Movement. That I would like to see North Vernon kind of pick up a little bit of that and embrace live music a little more. So we're sticking it out. You know, we're every Wednesday night, 6:30 to 8:30, and we have some great musicians. And so, you know, I think people should come up and you know, have a beer and get some dinner and listen to music on Wednesdays.
So Tuesday night is tacos and trivia, and that's every Tuesday night?
That's every Tuesday night, yes.
And then every Wednesday night is live music.
It's live music.
For 6:30 to 8:30?
6:30 to 8:30.
Okay.
And then on Thursdays, it's Smokin' Bones Thursday.
Okay.
So on every Thursday, like when I came in just now, the smoker outside was going, and Nash has ribs on.
Okay. Yep.
So every Thursday night we have pork ribs. I'll let Nash describe that real fast.
We do a St. Louis style spare rib, and we'll smoke it for 6 hours, and I hit it with our special blend dry rub, which is espresso based actually, and then where we go from there is once we pull it off the smoker, we'll glaze it with a cherry soda barbecue sauce, and serve it with our cowboy beans and our mac and cheese.
Well, maybe I'll just stick around for dinner tonight.
Might as well. Yep. There'll be fresh off the smoker here in a little bit.
And that's every Thursday night.
Yeah, every Thursday.
Every Thursday night, and then Friday and Saturday nights. You know, we're just make reservations. You know, don't be disappointed. Don't come and not be able to get a table. Yeah. If you make reservations, that works out really the best. And then we do the Sunday brunch the first Sunday of the month, 10 a.m. to 2 o'clock.
Okay.
And we're closed on Mondays.
Closed Mondays.
Yeah.
Closed Mondays, nothing special Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm sorry.
Tacos.
Oh, no, that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, tacos Tuesdays.
Taco
that's
Tuesday, music Wednesday. Smoking Bones Thursday. Okay. Wow.
So we try to have something going on all the time.
Much, yeah.
And just like Nash sort of was talking about our seasonal menu. Here we are at the middle of August, and we're getting ready here in the next month or two. We'll try to have the new fall winter menu out.
Okay.
So we want to keep things fresh all the time. And another fun thing we're getting ready to do is I have Brad's
Balding.
Yeah, Brett. Why is it that you can remember everyone's name and I can't? Okay. So another fun thing that's getting ready to happen is we're going to have Brad Spalding is doing some T-shirts for us. So we're going to have a little merchandise area with T-shirts and koozies. And then down the road, I want to get some coffee mugs he's making hats for us too. So I think that'll be kind of fun to do that also. So that's another thing coming down the pike. So, we're constantly thinking of what can we do to make something new and fresh and exciting and give people a reason to come in.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of places just find what works and stick with it and never change, and eventually it quits working. So,
right, yeah. And like right now, our outdoor seating's a lot of fun. We have 7 tables outside. It's very pet friendly, so we have a bowl of water out there for the dog. Bring your dog and come sit outside, and And I mean, in North Vernon, this is a really pretty area.
It is a nice place.
And the railroad coming through, all the trains coming through, is kind of cool to see that. And yeah, I mean, we think this is a great place, and it's just we're all about putting North Vernon on the map and just
That's cool.
letting people know about us, and that you can get a really cool dinner here in North Vernon.
All right. Well, I think you guys are doing a great job. So
Thank you very much.
Keep it up, and we'll do everything we can to help get the word out. So that's pretty much everything I've got for you guys. I appreciate you. I know you're busy and getting ready to get slammed here in a couple hours, so I appreciate you taking the time to sit down with me. So
Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks. We
enjoyed
appreciate
it. Y'all take care.